Welcome to another video on my channel. I haven't posted in a long time and I'm sorry for that. So this video is about accounting, and in my opinion it has everything that you might want to know about both paper 1 and paper 2, and I've tried my best to compile all the most important information that I thought was really necessary for all of you to know. So this is just a compilation of all the important things about paper 1 and paper 2. So let's get into it. Now here are some important details about paper 1 specifically. So to begin with, there's the code, which is not really important, but it's something you should know. And then the marks for this paper is 100 in total, and this constitutes for 66.66% of the total accounting iGCSE. Next, this paper is 2 hours long, and it's also known as the Introduction to Bookkeeping and Accounting paper. Moving on, let's look at the sections of the paper. So to begin with, there's section A, which consists of 10 MCQs and 3 short answer questions. So this section is not that long, as you can probably infer from the fact that there are mostly multiple choice questions here, so it's worth 25 marks, and you should spend around 20 to 25 minutes on it. Next, there's section B, which includes 5 long questions with multiple parts, which means there are sub-questions inside each of the 5 questions. Now, this section is for 75 marks, and you should spend around 1 hour, 40 minutes on it. And in total, both of these sections contribute to the total 100 marks that are in this paper. And although it might sound easy, it's not as easy as it sounds. Anyway, let's go on to section A. So here are the multiple choice questions, or rather one example of what an MCQ looks like. In total, there are 10 MCQs, which are for 1 mark each, and they look somewhat like this. You might think they are entirely easy because they're multiple choice questions, but no, some of them can be tricky, so you have to prepare for these as well and practice them. Next, let's move on to the short answer questions, which are only 3 in this section. So section A only has 3 short answer questions, and they look like this. They won't consist of a lot of marks. They'll usually be around 5 to 6, 7 marks, as you can see over here. So that was section A. Let's go on to section B. Now in section B, there are only long answer questions, and these are the majority of the questions. So the majority of the paper consists of long answer questions, and they look somewhat like this, where you receive some information in the beginning, as you can see over here: trade, receivables, ledger, control account, etc., etc. And then based on the information they give you, they ask you to prepare a financial statement or a control account or a journal entry, etc. And yeah, so those are the long answer questions. And as you can see, they give you space to write your own answer, so you don't have to worry about that. They give you the table layout, but in some cases they may not. So even though they do give you space, you should still know what is the layout for accounts, ledger accounts like this, or the financial statements like the income statement, etc. Now there are more questions that are included in section B. So before you saw there were practical questions, but there are some questions which are not practical. You don't have to prepare anything, such as in these questions where you have to describe 2 reasons why it was necessary to prepare a bank reconciliation statement, or 2 items that may appear in a bank statement, etc., etc. So these are theory type questions, and these are equally important, so you shouldn't leave this out when you're revising. So here are some important details about paper 2, and now paper 2 is slightly shorter than paper 1. Here's the code for it, and as you can see, it's for 50 marks, so it is lesser in importance compared to paper 1, and it also constitutes 33.33% of the iGCSE. So what I'm trying to say is that you should try to focus more on practicing paper 1, but of course, you can't completely ignore paper 2 either. It's better to do your best in both. Next, this paper is for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and it's called the Financial Statements paper. Let's move on to the sections of the paper. Now, actually, there aren't really any sections, but I wanted to go on with the same title. So, there are actually 2 questions. Question 1 includes 6 sub-questions within it. It might sound like quite less, but it's not. These 6 sub-questions do have sub-parts to them as well. and they tend to be long-winded sometimes, and they include a lot of theory as well. In total, they consist of 25 marks, and you should spend roughly 37 minutes on question 1. Next, there's question 2, which also includes 6 sub-questions, and also consists of 25 marks, and you have to spend 37 minutes on this section as well. So in total, this will add up to 75 minutes, which is how much time you get to spend on this paper. So 37 minutes on the first question and 37 minutes on the second one as well, and in total, if you do it right, you'll get 50 marks. So yeah, aside from that, let's go on to the next part, which is the questions that are included. So this paper includes both short and long questions, so yeah, sorry, you'll still have to do long answer questions. And however, there are no multiple choice questions in this paper. There are questions like this and this. So the first one, as you can see, is a fairly easy one. 2 marks, 2 lines to write, and it's theory, it's not practical. But the second one, as you can see, is practical and consists of more marks. So as you can see, there's a huge contrast. There are short answer questions and long answer questions, and there's a whole mismatch. And the reason I'm not categorizing them the way I did in the previous one is because I saw most of the sample assessment materials, and most of them include different topics in different styles of questions, so I couldn't really categorize that, you know, question 1 has these type of questions and then question 2 has those type of questions. So I'm just giving you this brief overview of what all the questions might look like. And if you want to check out the sample assessment material, you're free to do so. It's linked down below. Hope you found this video useful, and don't forget to share it. Thanks a lot for watching.